Hey there, Andy here. I am joined today by Sam Stone of SOE, an office equipment reseller down in the Richmond, Virginia area. How you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing well, Andy. How are you?
I am excellent, awesome as always. With considering, right?
That's
How's
right.
Richmond? How's everything down there? How's your team? How's your family? Mom, Dad, Carson, everybody. Sam is a gracious host to us every year on our Jillian ride. You can see my elephant behind me, my little purple elephant. My hat on as well. Sam, how's everybody down there? How's all my friends in Virginia and Richmond?
We're doing well. As well as can be expected for the times that we're in. Obviously, we have a lot of concerns about, the health and well-being of our employees and their family and our clients. But, we'll work through this.
Excellent. Good to hear.
Family is doing well. Family's doing well. We are, we are working, as far as employees go, have some that are working from home, some that are working in the office for, essential purposes. And then, of course, it's like a very skeleton crew, but all in all, we're just trying to stay, safe, follow the guidelines, and get through this.
So how is it managing and running your operation now that a good amount of your staff is not coming in every day? How are you handling that? What kinds of technologies are you using? Have you slowed things down? Are you able to keep up? What's it been like for you?
It's nothing like some type of, pandemic or recession or something like this to make you sit back and realize, okay, well, maybe we need to evaluate this a little closer. So what we do, we've been using for collaboration for a while to, answer your call about or answer your question about this. We've been using, as far as collaboration, we've been using Zoom for a number of years, but we've also, we're a 365 house, so we use Teams a lot. And we've been working, as far as communicating with the employees, we try to do that every day through something, and we'll do, put a Teams meeting together. As far as like everything else, we're a small business, so I usually see everybody every day. That part of it I don't like, and it's not a control thing. It's just that I'm a guy that likes to see people, and I like to talk to people.
You got to change your habits.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm kind of like, it's just, honestly, it's a little bit sad walking around and like seeing all the lights off and the office is empty. And I know I'm talking to them by either video or by phone or FaceTime or Teams or something. We're doing something all the time, but, I don't think that can be, that's something that just can't be replaced.
Yeah. Face-to-face time is tough to give up. I miss seeing everybody's smiling face at all the conferences that we're always going to, and obviously with the ride next month, which is looking less and less likely at this point, although we haven't canceled it. It's it's sad. It's just we're all missing a good chunk of our lives right now, and we're not going to get it back. But let's shift gears. Talk about you mentioned keeping your doors open. You've got a skeleton crew. You guys are essential. You're keeping the hospitals running. You're keeping the first line responders running. Their printers are important. Their collaboration equipment, their all the hardware that they have, the software that they have. You guys, in a lot of cases are keeping them running, or at least keeping them focused on the things they need to focus on, right? Which is helping fight this battle that we're all in. What are you doing to keep your staff safe? Are there precautions that you need to take? Are you maybe prioritizing some customers over the other? Are there increases in certain kinds of calls that you're starting to receive? What's it been like, focusing on your customers over the last month or so?
Well, first of all, I think we go back to the Thursday prior to the close down, which is like, we're in week 4 now. And prior to that, we had already made the decision because flu season was very active for some reason. We started seeing a lot of activity in like November and December. So we started asking our techs to wear gloves when they would go in and work on the equipment, and things like this, and wipe down the equipment really good. And there was some pushback and resistance because, you know, it's new, it's different, and they didn't, you know, it's hard to work on a piece of equipment. You're holding the little screws in your hand, and, you know, you got a glove on and everything. So they were a little resistant to that. But a week prior to any of this really coming about, they were already in the mode for doing that. So, and then we just really started really amping up a lot on how we're going to stay safe during this. Because while I wasn't sure just how bad this was going to be. I mean, I know that there was a lot of press about it, but nobody really knew how bad it was going to be. Clearly, it's a lot worse than, you know, than I thought it would be, or maybe a lot of people did. But I go back to, we started going through, hey, this is the proper way to, let's go back to how we're going to clean the machines and do this. So then we started putting some informational together for our clients. One of the things we put out was a how-to video on how to clean the equipment. We were getting a lot of calls where people were saying, they were saying to us, hey, you know, I want to wipe down my copier or printer. How do I do it? And the last thing we wanted to do is walk up with a giant bottle of, you know, bleach or something like that and just start spraying it directly into the copier. So we said, all right, we're going to go, we took one of our techs here and we filmed a video. And it's great work. I work with a production team here in town, and I contacted Glenn, and you met him, I think, at the ride. He's been here interviewing you guys. But I called Glenn. I was like, hey, how soon can I get this? And he said, you get it to me and I'll get it back to you. I had it back in an hour and a half, and we put it up on the web. It's got a lot of views and a lot of activity. We're also including that with a PDF version of that with all of our mail and stuff going out too.
Yeah,
so
I'm showing the
article
that you sent to me. So that's on my website for anyone who would like to see it. Just you know, go to the website and look under Sharp as a category, and you'll be able to find that article from Sam. And I would like to see that video, but you know, that's actually a big problem for your technicians when they walk into an account, if they're, or anybody's technicians for that matter, if they're not careful. You know, right. It's such an easily transmitting disease that, you know, we've got keyboards, we've got touch screens, their hands are all over these machines. And so, you know, that cleaning guidelines piece that you put together, I think is very useful for everybody, for customers and users and for other dealers. So thank you for that.
And I'll tell you another thing, Andy, too, is, you know, one thing that is odd to ask questions. We started asking questions on dispatch. You know, when somebody places a service call, we'd ask them questions if everyone's healthy in their office, if anyone's had a fever recently, because again, we don't want to send our technicians into an environment where they're going to come back and either bring it back to our company or bring it back to their families. So they were, at first everybody's kind of like, are you sure we should do this? I mean, should we ask them this? I'm like doing like, absolutely. But what the defining point was, is we went to a medical office, and when they sent one of our MPS techs in, he walks in, he didn't even get to the door. He gets to the door, and the lady just walks up and like takes his temperature in his ear right there. I mean, it's just not like, can I or whatever. It's just kind of like, we're doing this to everybody, and there's click, click, and there's like, and he came in, we can clearly ask if anybody has had a fever. After what I just went through, we're all good. He said, I'm just glad we weren't visiting other kinds of doctors. So it was really funny. I mean, but these are the things that I think have changed the way we do it. Clearly, we're taking a lot more service calls over the phone. We're doing a lot more fixes over the phone. We're in production right now, videoing a series of how-to videos for our clients. Will be on our website, and I'll be sure to give you a link to that. But of things that where people can do for themselves, because they're working with smaller crews now. Sometimes they don't want you to come into their office, so they're asking a question like, "Hey, I have a paper jam. Can you tell me how to clear it?" Or, "Hey, I've got a line on my copy. Can you show me how?" So we're doing a lot of that now, and we're going to have that up. And this is only going to make us better and stronger, you know, and hopefully give us a leg up on competition who aren't doing these things as well.
Well, that sounds very, very cool. I definitely want to see those videos when they're done. Before I let you go, just a quick question. You know, I know you represent a lot of really very well-known, very good technology companies, you're a Sharp reseller, you're a Lexmark reseller, you work with a lot of the premium vendors out there. What's the support been like from your OEMs? How have they been? You mentioned you're not the biggest dealer in the world, but you're not a small one either. So what's it been like? What's the support been like? Have you heard from them? Anything that you'd like to share with our audience on that?
Yeah, from the beginning, I got to say, Lexmark kind of jumped out way ahead of Sharp on this from our standpoint, but Sharp has been excellent, and their staff as well. And I say it's from a standpoint of a dealer, they're all asking the right questions. What can I do? I mean, they're worried about this too. There isn't a number of like where they call you saying, hey, Sam, so you think you're going to make quota? Or, they're asking right now, like, is there anything we can do, or what are some of the things you're trying? The biggest thing we're trying to get out of it is I'm involved in a dealer group, ICBA. We're actually having we have a Zoom meeting about every 10 days. They were supposed to be in Richmond next week for our meeting, and obviously all travel got canceled, but we're still doing it by Zoom meetings. And what's really cool about this is when you have other dealers from around the country and they're telling you things, this how they're doing things, that's what we can share back with the manufacturers. We can say, hey, this is what we're hearing, and we're actually asking them to do the same with us. Like, if you heard of a dealer who's doing something special, hey, at this time there are no new ideas. Every sales promotion has been done before, whether it's in a copier world or a refrigerator world, it's been done. What we're saying now is we're in kind of an unusual area. We're 50 years old this year. This isn't exactly the way we wanted to celebrate, the 50 years, but
So am I next week.
All right, brother. Good. Well, we'll have a virtual party. How about that?
I guess.
But with this, I mean, I got to say, I talked to my father, and he's like going like, man, I've been through the oil embargo, the Iran crisis, we've been through recessions, we've been through all this stuff. When I first started in 1970, that was the year we invaded Cambodia and Vietnam. So there's all kinds of stuff going on back here. He said, and then we go right into 72. He says, and I've got like odd days and even days to get gas. You tell your customer, that you can't take a service call because, you can't get gas that day. So he was like saying, like, I have been through, we've been through all those things since 1970. He says, I've never seen anything like this. But he said, the good thing about it is, we have a real strong faith system here as well. But one good thing about it is, I mean, we know that God's in control of this thing. We know that, we have faith in our employees. So we're excited about it. I just look at it like, what are we going to be like to the face of the customer when we come out of this? That's my point.
Yeah. Well, we lost your video, but this seems like a good time to wrap it up anyway. So,
okay.
Sam, thank you so much for taking some time with me. We'll check back in. Oh, there he is. We'll check back in with you in a few weeks, see how things are going down in Richmond, and just keep your people safe. Keep them, keep your face masks on when you're outside and you're talking to anybody, and do what you're supposed to do, and play the part, and we'll all get through this, right?
Yeah, man. And you'd be careful too. And hey, I don't know if we'll see you in May or not, or if the ride's on or not, but either way, we will catch up again soon. And
sooner than later, Sam.
Exactly, brother. All right. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
Take care. Thank you, Sam. Bye-bye.